That's right, it's 2013 and Battlefield 4 has released, and it was a massive improvement on Battlefield 3, but it did have one big problem, and that was the launch. It didn't really launch very well. But still to this day, this is the Battlefield that I have put the most hours into, which honestly is still surprising to me considering I played over 4,000 hours of BF5, and I didn't stream this game at all, so I genuinely enjoyed this game from start to finish and played basically a lot of it. Now, it did improve upon Battlefield 3 with weapon customization. There were a lot more attachments, and you had a lot more scope and freedom to actually create the weapon you wanted. The maps weren't as good, but other than that, along with the modes that the game had, I found this very enjoyable. It had a thriving competitive scene, which was always a bonus. Compare that with 2042 and even BF5, it's honestly miles ahead. The community was a lot more, I would say, welcoming sometimes, though it did have a lot of toxicity in it. But in terms of the amount of players that were playing the game at the time, it was a lot more than what we have to this day. It had a campaign that even I actually played and did kind of enjoy. The characters you could relate to, especially from BF3 and BF4, so that was a positive bonus. Where BF1 and BF5 with its war stories didn't really compare to just a normal campaign with set characters that you could basically relate to. Some consider Battlefield 4 as the best in the franchise. I think it would have been if it launched perfectly, which it didn't. It kind of had a similar path to what 2042 had, where it took about a year and a half for this game to actually get up to what it should have been. The DLC made a big impact with this, with numerous new maps and weapons each season, which, while 2042 is getting a lot better, still struggles to this day. But I think that's what saved it. Some of the DLC maps like Pearl Market, which you may have already seen on the screen, along with some of the China Rising stuff with the additions of a variety of new vehicles, from the cruise missile air bomber thing. I have no idea what it's called. I just remember it having a cruise missile. Silk Road was a very good map for vehicle gameplay, though for someone who played infantry like me, wasn't good. But I'd be curious to know what you think. Do you think BF4 was better than BF3, or do you think it was a more upgraded experience but just on worse maps? Because to me that's what it felt like when I played it. And if Battlefield 4 had better maps than Battlefield 3, I think even I would still be playing it. Even I think it's like 9 years later, even close to 10 years now. But hopefully this video gave you another little trip down nostalgia lane. Feel free to leave a like, because it helps out the algorithm. And if you enjoy Battlefield content, subscribe. Otherwise, let me know what you think of Battlefield 4 down in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one.